Good evening, and welcome to the special presentations of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley. I now call this meeting to order on May 17th at 5:51 p.m. The first presentation will be Seneca Elementary, and this is a mayoral proclamation. Mayor Gutierrez and Councilmember Jemison will present the proclamation to Emilio Gallegos, Seneca Principal, Dr. Sue Buster, MVUSD Director of Elementary Education, staff Juliana Murray, Francisco Lopez, Jackie Jemison, Deborah Johnson, and I'm just going to have a hard time with this name, Zenaib? Okay. If you could please come up.
No kissing the recipients either.
Congratulations.
Very good.
Again. Yeah, good. Hey, Jackie.
I want to see it on TV.
Okay, so we have, okay, there we go. Okay. So this is a mayoral proclamation that we have recognizing Seneca Elementary for the achievements that they have done. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. Whereas students are exposed to rigorous curriculum that prepares them for college and career readiness as 21st century learners, and whereas they also have a very involved parent community with concerned parent groups including English Learners Advisory Committee, School Site Council, Parent-Teacher Organization, African American Parent Advisory Committee, and Book Club, and whereas Seneca Elementary School has implemented a positive behavior intervention support system, PBIS, that reminds and reinforces the importance of being safe, being a team player, being accepting of others' differences, being responsible, and displaying a scholarly aptitude. And also, they have made significant progress in their CELT scores as well. So I'd like to turn it over to Councilmember Jemison, if you'd like to say a few words about elementary school.
Well, I love all of our schools here in Moreno Valley, but this one is especially important. I've known the principal for many, many years, and he's awesome in what he does. One of his great noon duties, I've known him for about 31 years. But the great thing is, if all of the personnel have the same drive and compassion for the students at Seneca as my husband does, then they're in good hands. And I know that you all do an awesome job. So we're so thankful from the city for what you do for our children.
Thank you. And now for a few words from the principal. If you'd like to say anything.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this recognition. We do what we can for the children and our parents, our community. Personally, I'm a service leader, and I try to, do what is best for my students and the community. I really appreciate my teachers that are here, Mrs. Covington, Mrs. Dagenhart, Mrs. Holm, and one of our students, Noah. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you. And now we can just get a group photo and you come this way. Come right over this way. Yeah, thank you. No problem. Congratulations. Hey, Mr. Gallegos, congratulations. Hey, congratulations, buddy. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations again. Congratulations again. Great job. Congratulations again. No kissing, man, no kissing. Okay. The second The second presentation will be from Valley View High School Speech and Debate Team with certificates of recognition, and we have council members Price and Jemison who will present the certificates to Nicole Cross from Valley View Speech and Debate Coach. From Valley View, the Speech and Debate Coach.
You know, I had two children who attended Valley View High School, and I'm so proud of the school. I've seen it grow over the years, and you know, I have a Facebook page, and anytime I see Valley View do something really well, be successful, I always put it on the Facebook page. So you can check and see, your pictures will be there. So I just want to congratulate you on behalf of the City Council. It's a certificate of recognition for winning the Friends of RCCD Forensic Speech Contest. And maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about what the contest entailed.
Okay, so basically the students you see over here, they competed in 4 kinds of speaking, but one was impromptu. So they were given a topic, gotten 2 minutes to prepare, and then they spoke for under 5 minutes. That was one event. And we placed in all events, so I'm really proud of them. So all 4, there's kids up here who placed in each category, first, second, or third. So impromptu was one of them. The second one was persuasive speaking. So they got to choose the topic and then persuade the audience on what they thought of that topic. They also placed in informative speaking, so just giving knowledge on any topic to the audience, and they also placed in, well, they competed in debate as well, so that was the 5th one, and they also had interpretation of literature. And we have the first place winner up here for that one, so I'm just proud of the team, but that's basically what they did. They competed in those events and won first place, so very proud of them.
Just wanted to mention that if any of you knew Dr. Stallings was behind the whole debate and everything that went on with RCC, and God rest her soul, that we keep her in memory of the legacy that she left behind. So we're so very proud of all of you. Thank you.
Okay, we have certificates for, I believe, each of you here, and I don't know what order they're in, so I have to call you up. Mikhail Armstrong? Did I get that right? Michael, oh, okay, I thought it spelled different, sorry. Oh, I know, where's all the Joes and Bobs and Mikes? Ryan Bennett, is that correct? Congratulations. Janice Bentoncourt, she's not here, okay. Kelly Galarza, not here, okay. Nathan Garcia. Congratulations. Let me know when you get halfway and I'll switch with you.
No problem.
Daryl Gilliams. Congratulations. You'll notice there's a city pin also so you can wear it to school. Cynthia Gould. Going through these and giving me the tough one? Adziria Hernandez. You ready to switch? Go ahead, switch. Oh. Switch and I'll go through.
Okay, so Citlali Hernandez.
Oh, look, you're getting the easy ones now.
Elian Herrera. Did I say that right? Elian. Jada Hines. Congratulations. Juliana Hurtado. Okay. Jesus Juarez. Congratulations. Laura Linares. Anthony Molina. Are you related to that guy back there? No. Fiona Monte. Robin Montero. Montel Moore. Madison Salcedo. Ryan Skipworth. Ian McPherson. Ian's on the Art Commission, by the way. Aiden Rosales.
Good luck.
Okay, I'm going to really try hard on this. Alana Calepolioli. Is she here? Oh, good. Because I know I messed that up. Tamarea Wolford. Also not, probably missed it. And Jeanette Mesa. Okay, wonderful.
Okay, now we all want to line up here for a picture, okay? We have 3 levels here, so. Short, tall people in the back row. You, back row. You, back row. Okay, now you have to come through here.
All right, let's go ahead and give him one more applause. The third and last presentation is the National Public Works Week proclamation. Councilmember Molina will present the proclamation. Ahmad Amzari, the Moreno Valley Public Works Director and City Engineer, will be there as well.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, do I get to get even with you. I got a lot of whereases. Whereases, okay? On behalf of the City Council, I'd like to thank Ahmad Ansari and our Public Works Department for bringing forth the proclamation recognizing National Public Works Week. And I'm going to read the whereases, okay? I'm going to start off with the first whereas, okay? Whereas, why are the potholes still around our city? That was just a joke, okay? Whereas Public Works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is that to the efficient operation of public works system and programs such as storm drains, streets and highways, traffic and transportation, public buildings, lighting and landscaping, and solid waste collections. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skills of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff the Public Works Department is materially influenced by the community's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, be it resolved, that the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley, on behalf of the citizens and staff, hereby proclaim this week of May the 15th through the 21st, 2016, as National Public Works Week. And also, I might add that Ahmad Ansari promises to fix all the potholes in your street. Okay? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to all you guys, okay? I know you guys are out there, you're busting your rumps, out there working, and we know you're shorthanded, and we'll try to give you all the support that we can, okay? Ahmad?
Thank you so much.
Here's your, say a few words, and here's your proclamation. We didn't have time to frame it because he just wrote it up.
Thank you.
And forget this part about the pothole, okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Councilmember Molina. I'm honored to receive the proclamation, and I'm more honored to receive the proclamation on behalf of men and women, hard-working men and women in Public Works. As the community knows, Public Works Department is the largest non-safety city department, and each year, American Public Works Association designates a week, usually in May, for National Public Works Week. Every year we have a theme, and they generate a poster, which is right here. The theme this year is always there, so we're proud of that theme. We want to be always there. We want to do customer care, same-day response, and it's an honor for all of our employees to be of service to the community. With your permission, there are a few Public Works employees that are here. If I may, I would ask them to come up here and shake hands with yourself and Mayor and Council. Come on up, guys.
Or you want to get a picture first? Maybe if you want to use the three areas. Ahmad, did you want to use the three areas or okay, whatever. There you go.
Balance out, guys.
Oh, okay. It's okay. That concludes the special presentations for this evening. The regular city council meeting will convene at 6:20 p.m. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council receives a separate stipend for CSD meetings. Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba will be teleconferencing into this meeting. Are you there, Jeff?
I am here.
All right. I now call this meeting to order on May 17, 2016 at 6:24 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember George Price, please remain standing for the invocation which will be given by Pastor John Millhouse from Calvary Chapel of Moreno Valley.
Please place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is an honor to be able to ask God's blessing upon our city council and our meeting tonight. Let's pray. Father, every decision that's made here tonight is important, or it wouldn't be on the agenda. Father, you tell us that when we lack wisdom, that all we have to do is ask you, and you would give it freely. And so, Lord, we ask for wisdom tonight. And we ask that the decisions that are made would be the right ones. And so, Father, we ask your richest blessings upon this city council meeting tonight. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Jimson,
Here.
Councilmember Molina,
Present.
Councilmember Price,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba,
I'm here.
and Mayor Gutierrez.
Present. Staff introductions, please.
Kathy Gross, Executive Assistant.
Leslie Keene, Interim City Clerk.
Marshall Ironman, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Paul Early, Assistant City Attorney.
Michelle Dawson, City Manager.
Tom DeSantis, Assistant City Manager.
Mike Lee, Economic Development Director.
I'm Adan Sari, Public Works Director and City Engineer.
Joel Onabros, Chief of Police.
Harry Stevens, Administrative Services Director.
Gabe Garcia, Parks and Community Director.
Alan Brock, Community Development Director.
Okay. Thank you. And I just want to apologize for everyone for starting a little late. The special presentations got a little long, and then also our closed session. So before we hear public comments this evening, I ask and encourage everyone participating to keep their comments respectful towards each other, also when you're at the podium. I embrace and support the First Amendment right to free speech, including everyone's right to speak at this meeting, share his or her views about issues concerning our city, but we can accomplish more as a city and as private citizens by being civil and respectful towards one another in this meeting. Finally, I ask that speakers bear in mind that comments are limited to 3 minutes for each speaker, and that you refrain from duplicating comments already made by others, other than to note that you agree with the comment. Those wishing to speak should complete and submit a blue speaker slip to the bailiff. There's again a 3-minute time limit per person. All remarks and questions shall be addressed to the presiding officer or to the city council. The city clerk will call 3 names at a time. Please be ready and move forward to the front of the room when you hear your name called. Madam City Clerk, do we have any speaker requests?
Yes, we have 5 requests to speak.
Okay. There will be a total of 15 minutes.
The first speaker will be Melissa Martinez, followed by Darrell Terrell, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Council, staff, mayor, residents. My name is Melissa Martinez. I'm the CEO and founder of Neighborhood Works, a nonprofit organization designed for the people, by the people. The reason why I'm here today is to invite everyone here on TV, on the internet, my fellow residents here, to Saturday, May 28th, is a community cleanup designed for the old 215 frontage road. The address that we will be meeting and greeting everyone, the location is going to be 13576 Old 215 Frontage Road. And what we're doing right now, we have about 23 entities on board sponsoring the event, along with the city, Waste Management, Sam's Club, some major sponsors. Just getting together, and we're giving back to the community. We want to get the kids involved. This is a free event. Nothing is necessary. Just bring your comfy clothes, bring some gloves, pick some trash bags up, and let's just walk down the street and pick up trash. All of those mattresses, those sofas, it gets tired after a while. So, and nobody else is doing anything about it, which is why I've stepped up to do something about it. I personally care about where I live. I don't like to live in filth. I don't want to live in trash, and I don't want my fellow neighbors to do so either. So that's why we're going to get together. We're going to give back. Also, lunch is on the house to all participants. So if you're interested, please, by all means, feel free to come on by. If you just want to stop by and you don't want to pick up a trash bag, that's fine. Just go ahead and show your support. Say hello. We welcome everyone. We encourage everyone, all ages, kids included, to come on and come on down. Follow us on Facebook. Go to Neighborhood Works Inc., and that will give you any more information that you need. Thank you.
Could we make sure that the clock is on? Okay, next speaker, Daryl. How you doing, Daryl? Good, good, thank you.
My name is Daryl Terrell. I live here in Moreno Valley. As our economy and job growth continues to improve, many of you continue to live paycheck to paycheck, from one emergency to the next, one step ahead of collection notices, late fees, overdraft fees, and utility cutoff schedules. According to the survey of Bank Rate, 76% of all Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. It's evident our city has become a magnet from pawn shops, check cashing places, payday loans, title lending businesses. It means that you're spending more hours, less time with your kids, working nights and weekends, instead of going to the PTA, Little League, or Scouts, and bringing home a smaller paycheck. It means that many of you are trapped in low-wage, dead-end jobs, unprepared to compete for the middle-class jobs because you lack the skills or education. Whether you have a college degree or not, the American dream is still possible for you. It is time to raise your hopes, your kids' aspirations, and put our kids first. If we dare to dream beyond our conditions, if we work hard and if we put aside our differences, we can be that shiny city on the hill. Let it be our cause that we give our kids a city that's coming together and not coming apart. We may have started at different points in life, in time, in place, in race, and religion. Some were born here and some got here as soon as they could. But we all have one common goal, and that is to make this city the best place on the face of this earth. It matters not whether you're black, brown, white, Asian, whether you're rich or poor or in between, whether you're educated or uneducated. What matters to me is that we love this city, and we're in this together, and we will rise and fall together as one city and one people. Long ago, Tom Brokaw used the term the greatest generation in describing a generation that defeated an enemy of humanity in World War II. I would contend that there is a new greatest generation. They attend our schools and taught by our teachers. It will be their generation that will someday crack the code of incurable diseases. It will be their generation that will invent a clean fuel to power our economy and power us to Mars and beyond. We are part of something much larger than ourselves. All of us is part of something much greater than we are capable of imagining. When you dream big, and big things can happen. If you never give up, your dreams can come true. It's time for us to be a great city, a world-class city. Let's together make Moreno Valley a city where the American dream soars. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Next speaker, please. How you doing, Roy?
Making a difference. I see it every day in this community. People out there rescuing kittens. A mom planning for her child's birthday party. People out there looking to rescue animals. A dog that's in distress. They come together. Well, there might be cleanups in the community. There's all through this community. There is a spirit that goes through this community that really magnifies the people of this community. They are not apathetic. They work every day. They put through the struggles that you just heard the last two speakers go through. What they are apathetic about, and I'm putting it nicely, is you. They are getting the reason you don't see them or comment or participate is because they see it's all about you, what I do, how I'm at these events, or all that. Instead of rolling up the sleeves, they see how other communities are out there taking care of the citizens, arresting criminals, not putting window dressings on problems. All through this community, the people know what is really going on. They might not know the details, but they have a sense of it. And to survive, they have to do what they have to do to make it. Will not hold this community back. They will succeed, not because of you, but in spite of you. They do it every day. Because this is their home. And they're not going to let anybody run down their home. They're not going to let anybody make this community nothing but the best it can be. Because in the end, Moreno Valley truly does matter.
Next speaker, please.
Martin, followed by Rafael Brugueras, followed by Jose Chavez.
How you doing, Sean?
Good. My name is Sean Fortine. 2 weeks ago, you were talking about problems with Prop 47 and AB 109 offenders, and it's kind of a novel idea for a city in California, but perhaps you might want to consider the Kennesaw, Georgia method of dealing with crime, where in 1982 they passed a law that required everyone eligible to buy a gun would do so, and while they would have constitutional issues if they actually tried to enforce that. A lot of people did, and they got their burglary rate to drop by 90% over about the next year or so. And even though their city's grown, their crime is up a little. Their violent crime is still down 75%, and their property crime is down like something like 43. The Family Circle magazine once, in 2007, made it one of their top 10 cities for a family to grow up in. If something like that was to be introduced here, like where people were properly trained and stored weapons properly, then that might be something to consider, because people that are not allowed to own a gun for any reason, or some reason physically or psychologically unable to defend themselves, would also benefit from people willing to extend their willingness to protect others. And interesting thing about cities that do help enable people to defend themselves easier is that it doesn't result in shootouts or anything. The crime just kind of dwindles on its own when people realize that the game has changed. There's a lot of other ideas to, a lot of other ways to complement that with diversion programs, to where the threat of force or the threat of someone coming to someone else's aid is not the only thing reducing crime. But unfortunately, I've only got like 30 seconds left, and I don't have time to explain how there's other ways to divert people. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Next speaker.
Rafael Brugueras, followed by Jose Chavez.
Good evening, council members, staff, guests, and residents of Moreno Valley. I want to thank Pastor John for coming out tonight. He's our family pastor. We know when he speaks, the word comes out of him, and it inspires a lot of us that sit in the pulpit. And that's what gets me coming here, fighting for jobs. Because when we hear other men and women pray for prosperity for our city, sometimes we have to take action to have that happen. Or our nearby cities take advantage of our no's, and they take over our yeses. So that's what inspires me to be here tonight. Another thing that I want to talk about tonight, that we're going to spend a little bit of money tonight. We're going to spend a little less than $1 million tonight on A5, A6, A7, A9, A10, and A11. They're all money makers. I know we need them. Some are trucks, some for data. But when I totaled them up, it came out to $930,594. And that's not including A5 that didn't give me a number, but it has a purchase order. So I asked council members to direct staff to give us a number, so to see if we can keep that under $1 million tonight. One of the reasons why I know this is because our city has transparent. They allow me to see what's going on. I just want the city to know and the residents to know that we're spending $1 million tonight. And I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem spending money for equipment for safety and obeying the law and the rules. Because we're doing well. We are providing this city and the region with jobs. We have a lot of big companies that are in our city that are helping us with tax money to add to the general fund so we can cover this cost. I want to talk about a project that was approved by the Planning Commission on Thursday, but I don't want to expand on it until it comes to the council for approval, but it's a good thing. That's another $1 million in taxes that the city is going to be getting. So that alone covers this cost that I just talked about. This is what we have to do as a body in Moreno Valley, to not to forget those prayers that people lift up daily for our city, our leaders. I also want to thank the staff that goes out there and looks for these companies to come to our city. It's a great, great thing to know when you sit in meetings and know what's going on. Please come to the meetings. It's very important to learn.
Okay, thank you, Rafael.
Chavez.
Chavez?
So what is 7 seconds already?
Wait 1 second, Jose. Let me just fix this. Leslie, could you? Okay, go ahead, Jose.
Good evening, City Councils and Mr. Mayor Gutierrez and all the city staff. I do believe to make a better city, but please do not try to copy the other ones to compete with the other ones. No, don't look to the side. Just look, straighten up your face and look for it. That's it. To compete with the other ones is not the right goal. So, and I really like to ask for those people. I still watch the meetings in my home. They do still have a lot of negatives comments. You know, I believe those people, you know, if they really like to make the negatives comments, I believe it's a much help if they stay in the home. I know we have the right speech, freedom of speech, but I do believe it's very important to turn over the page already. Just look for it. So, because if we stay fighting each other, we're not going to go too far. So that means when we pray, we not do like the Jesus want to do it. We do something else. That's not right. So, in my opinion, from now on, I will be chair my time with the Safety Traffic Commission again to be working with, and then I'm going to try to spend a little bit more time in this wheelchair to the city works and the streets, how we can avoid it to do double time job for the same time they can make in a single time. So for example, in the corners, they want to put the posts to have access to those crossing lines. You know, something we can make it in one time only. That means they don't have to cut in the cement again and redo it again. It's wasting money. It's a wasting money. We need to figure out and look far. Don't look down. You know, that's my concern. And when I saw they make the freeways and they make it narrow, I say, those people, they not even know what they're doing. 2 years later, they got to redo it again. And that's wasting time. Spend a lot of money for what? If they are able to do it one shot. Thanks so much to listen what I said, and I hope they can take in consideration my comments. I really like to be offer my time, volunteer to work with you guys.
Thank you, Jose.
Free.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Madam City Clerk?
That completes all of the requests for public comments.
Okay, we're going to move on to, would any council members like to make their reports? Normally, we have them at the end, at the beginning of the meeting. Okay, we have one request. How about you, Jeff?
No.
No? Okay, so we have one request from Councilmember Jemison. Okay, go ahead, Councilmember Jemison. And, oh, just like your general comments. Okay, so after Jemison, it'll be Councilmember Molina.
Okay. It has been a very busy last couple of weeks, and I'd like to share these items because people need to know that there are services, resources, events, and activities that are happening in our city. First of all, I was thrilled at the response, the attendance of our business roundtable that was held at Calientes. I appreciate Mike Lee and his staff made a wonderful presentation to our businesses that were present. I had a great opportunity to speak with all of them to find out their needs, good question and answer period. So I appreciate Hector Diaz for opening up Calientes to allow that to happen, and I appreciate my businesses for being there. Also, the community college, Moreno Valley Community College, had their 25-year anniversary, and it was quite a celebration. And the great thing is there was a lot of regional partnerships that were there. All the chambers were there, the City of Moreno Valley Fire Department, even Dre, our canine. It was so exciting to see Dre out there, and he hasn't missed a step. He was excited to be there. Our Assembly Member Medina was represented, and Senator Roth, and just a lot of people were there supporting one another because of what the college provides. So we appreciate that. Music Changing Lives. That organization is an organization that I started out with and actually brought to Moreno Valley. Josiah Bruni and his staff do a wonderful job in the schools. It's an after-school program that provides music and arts, but they have to maintain their credits in school and maintain good grades. And it was amazing what this youth was able to provide in performances and where they were before and where they are now. And I tell you, I've always been a supporter of the arts and music to actually support our youth in getting them through school, because books don't always cut it, and I think we understand that. I am very excited about our upcoming events that are happening on Memorial Day. First of all, Melissa already brought up the community cleanup. We'd love everyone to come out and attend and help clean up our area. We also have on Memorial Day, the city has the event at 2 o'clock, which is always wonderful. But throughout the day, we'll actually have the dedication of the historic 395 on Old 215, 9 to 3. We welcome everyone. Everything is free. There will be lots of booths there that will reflect historical preservation for our community, so we welcome everyone to attend. There was so much going on. Vanguard Art Foundation has a new music teacher, and he actually has played with Teddy Pendergrass. He's played with Michael Jackson. He's Aretha Franklin, just a long list. And the abilities that he provides for students that are interested in the different music instruments that are there, are wonderful. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of what we've done in the past, what's coming up in the future. Please, I post everything that I attend and anything that's upcoming that I'd love for all of you to attend. Just go to the Facebook page, Dolores LaDonna Jempson, and everything is there. So I encourage everyone to attend these events and support each other. So thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Molina?
I want to touch on a few things. First of all, I'd like to give the staff and the citizens of Moreno Valley a friendly reminder that back on June 9th of 2015, we approved a motion to bring forward a forensic audit, okay, when I was mayor, okay? It's going on a year now, almost a year now, and nothing has been done yet. And we do know that there has been some, some things that have gone wrong, okay? I will start with the council, and I'm gonna say it over again. Has there been some things done wrong? Yes. Okay, and I can't sit here with a good conscience and say that everything is okie dokie. Okay, I just can't sit here and do this. All right, my conscience is bothering me, and I'm sorry, but you know, I'm just gonna have to. You know, until we clear this up, I'm just going to have to walk away because it's really bothering me. Till that forensic audit is done.
Okay.
So I say to the people of Moreno Valley, I have letters from the year 2010 that I wrote to the state attorneys general. And this is not easy for me to say, okay? Okay, and I wrote to Senator Polanco. Have we done, yes, are we at fault? Maybe we were naive about it, but we hesitated, okay, so. At that time, I'm sorry, staff, but you know, taking things into closed session is not gonna shut things up. Until we clear this up. I'm sorry.
Okay. We are now going.
To my constituents, but I can't be a hypocrite. Thank you.
We are now going to move on to our joint consent calendars. All items listed under the consent calendar, sections A, B, C, and D, are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion unless a member of the City Council, Community Services District, City as Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency, Housing Authority, or the Board of Library Trustees requests that an item be removed for discussion or separate action. The motion to adopt the consent calendar is deemed to be a separate motion by each agency and shall be so recorded by the City Clerk. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard after public hearing items. Items withdrawn for separate action will be heard after public hearing items. Jeff, do you have any, or anybody have any items that they would like for discussion?
I do.
Okay.
A5, A8, and A12.
Okay,
And I'm sure they'll be brief and just staff summary.
Okay, how about you, Mayor Pro Tem?
No,
No? Okay.
nothing. No, I'm quite familiar with them.
Okay. Me?
Yeah,
Councilmember
the guy
Prince.
over here. Um, we moved an item to consent. Do we want to announce that? Because I would just like to make a comment on that.
Yes. You want to, maybe the staff to do first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The legal way.
Yeah, it's A17. So A17, if you, there could be just a staff report.
Well,
I
first,
don't have an A17 on my agenda.
Oh,
here.
yeah, first I think we need to clear up that item, was it G2?
Yeah, G2.
Was on the agenda, has been moved to item A17. So.
When was that done?
While you're in
You all- you're-
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all should have notice of that on your dais, but that's why we want to make sure that we announce it here. Obviously, as because it's a consent item now, it can still be removed if a
I'll
council
remove
member
it then. I
Okay.
wanted to discuss it.
Okay.
desires, and then staff can give their report, but just want to make sure we cleared up that it is now an item that will be included on any motion on the consent item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Remove it and
okay,
for
he's
separate
requesting to
vote.
remove it, so we'll just move it to.
Yeah, then a
to
separate
F.
vote.
To F.
Yeah, G2.
Yeah, put it on the F.
Okay. How about A5, if we can have a staff report on that? Just discussion on that? That is community development.
Correct. Was that a question, or would you like the staff report?
I'll defer
Actually,
to
the-
Councilmember
I'm sorry.
Jensen. I'll defer to Councilmember Jensen.
Actually, the staff report and a quick answer to Raphael's question, because in the staff report, it does identify the dollar amount, and Raphael didn't see the actual money that was attached to this. But I had a couple of questions that I shared with City Manager Dawson, so I think it'd be good for clarification purposes for our residents.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give that staff report. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members and Mayor Pro Tem remote. Item A5 is a recommendation to approve professional service agreement with Data Ticket Incorporated to provide processing services, support to the city's parking control program and administrative citations operations. Since 2001, the city has utilized private vendors for ticket processing, ticket printing, collections, and other various related citation services. On January 11th, a request for proposal for citywide citation processing services was issued since our contract had expired and it is active on a month-to-month basis. The proposal was to continue the services for all parking and administrative citation processing for code compliance, parking control, parks and recreation, animal services, and the police department. A few of the services requested include citation processing services, nationwide DMV access, delinquent collections, appeal processing services, electronic ticket writers, actually, the handheld devices that are used in the field by staff, and franchise tax board collections, to name a few. Two firms submitted proposals. Data Ticket was selected on their ability to provide the services that I just mentioned, and that their rates for service were the lowest in a side-by-side comparison. As with the city's fee schedule, each service provided is a specified flat rate, such as a per-site processing fee, a fee for notices and letters and such, scheduling hearings, and so on. A parking citation agreement is in a not-to-exceed amount of $165,000, and the administrative citation agreement is in a not-to-exceed amount of $75,000. So there's two separate agreements in this package. The not-to-exceed amounts of the agreements and actual revenues are solely dependent upon the activity levels for the year. The expenditures for both services are included in the current adopted budget that you have. And I think I answered Mr. Garris's question with that information. Excuse me 1 second. Just making sure I covered everything. I think I've covered everything there.
So I guess my point of confusion, maybe not anybody else's, but there was the 165,000 and then the administrative 75, not to exceed. And then there was an itemization of all the citations and the how much and so on. So I was a little confused as to, is that in addition, or are the citations eventually paying for this 165 and 75? Could you help clarify that?
Yes, the fee schedule, it's similar to the city's fee schedule for our fees for services that we provide. It's very similar in that sense. When we issue a citation, the processing of that citation, data ticket collects 40 cents. So it's a fee per issued citation. And that fee remains constant regardless of the number of citations issued. So if we issue 1 or 1,000, it's still 40 cents per citation. And that activity that's provided by data ticket is the creation of a database record, the tracking of the citation, the collection of the citation fee, and so on.
Thank you. I'm much clearer on that, and hopefully Raphael got the answer that he needed. I think so.
All right, how about A12? That one is report of Public Works. Ahmad?
Good evening.
Oh, A8. Oh, okay, well, we could do, yeah. Yeah, let's go in order. Okay, so A8 is report of City Clerk. Appointments to the Emerging Leaders Council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are providing this evening a recommendation to appoint members to the Emerging Leaders Council. We advertised for this position. We received only 4 applications. Those applications were all from members who currently sit on the committee. 3 of those members, however, have only sit on the committee for 2 months because they were appointed to fill vacancies at that time. So it is the staff recommendation that we reappoint the 4 people who did apply. We have, this committee has taken some time to get organized, but we feel they're working very well as a team right now. They have a number of projects in the works, ad hoc committees working on all of those projects.
Did you have questions, Councilmember Jemison?
I did.
Okay.
And actually, I spoke with the city clerk on this, but inquiring minds want to know, how is it that emerging leaders didn't have other applications? And actually, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was 1 additional application, but they didn't qualify.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And then my concern was, are we doing our due diligence by properly advertising the position? And the city clerk and I spoke, and you may want to respond to that.
Yes, thank you. We advertise this position in the same manner that we advertise boards and commissions. So it was posted on the city's website. It was posted at a variety of different locations. But when this council was initially formed, we reached out further than that and did provide flyers to some of the colleges in the area. We did not do that this time. The staff person who was involved in this initially is no longer with the city. I was not aware that that was something that had happened in the past, but I do think it's an excellent idea. And in the future, when we reach out for applications for this committee, we would certainly try to provide flyers to all of the colleges and universities that might have students who live in our community.
I appreciate that, and let's not forget our high schools being very aggressive and on going after our high schools also. So we appreciate that. You are new, and so you're not always aware of the driving force behind things, and we appreciate you considering that for next time.
Yes, I will certainly leave this in the file, so whoever is here at that time will know that they should do that.
Great idea.
A12, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. This report before you request approval of a plan to rehabilitate certain distressed streets within the Edgemont area. The estimated cost is $270,000. The streets are listed in your staff report. Staff requests approval of the plan tonight to include this project in the fiscal year 16-17 capital improvement program, which is going to be before the City Council in June. And the schedule is to start the construction in August, September, and complete it by November.
I'll be happy to answer any questions.
May I
Go ahead.
ask?
Yes.
So Ahmad, just want to be clear. Now, there's major development or major road repair going on in certain areas, and then there's slurry seal. Is all this going to be done at the same time? Will slurry seal be done first, and then with the intention of everything being done by September? Could you give us a more firm guideline on that?
Yeah, typically the construction operation is up to the successful contractor that wins the project, the low bid. However, typically they start with any concrete improvements or any resurfacing of those two streets that are grind and overlay and are not slurry seal, and then they complete it with slurry seal. And they're all going to be done at the same time.
Great, thank you, and I'm anxious for this to happen.
All right. Okay, any comments, Jeff?
No,
Okay.
the A12 is an approval in June for the CIP process. So it's not tonight, so that people don't misunderstand. A12 isn't approving it. They're approving it to put it on the Public Works CIP plan for approval in June. Am I correct?
Is he staff?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Public comments on consent items other than separate action items. Madam Clerk.
We do have 3 speakers, Carla Thornton, Melissa Martinez, and Rafael Brugueras.
Oh, okay. And this is for the consent calendar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening. I'm Commissioner Carla Thornton. I serve on the Traffic Safety Commission. I'm here on behalf of the Traffic Safety Commission to advocate and advise the City Council to vote to keep the Traffic Safety Commission intact.
Ma'am, you know what? I think what it is the wrong different form. So we're going to actually get to that because this one's on the consent calendar versus boards and commissions.
She's listed her item as appointments to the boards and commissions being continued for 3 months, and that is on the consent calendar.
Okay. Okay, so it's not about keeping the commission, the reorganization, because we're going to get to that right now, pretty soon.
All right. So
Yeah, okay. So, okay, we'll just, yeah. Yeah, just hold the comments, okay. Okay, next speaker.
Melissa Martinez.
I know sometimes it can be confusing with the forms, so apologize. Melissa?
Hi. I just want to make it clear. Can I speak about A12 and G2 since G2 was moved to A17 and A17 isn't on the agenda?
Well, G2 is going to be in item F.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so
yeah,
I can talk about at least A12 right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone, Ahmad, staff, council, I strongly urge you to really move forward with this assessment. We really need it down there. The streets of Edgemont have not been touched in years. As I've stated to Commissioner Thornton at their commission meetings, our roads are deteriorating down there. I can literally walk down the street. I can crumble the street in my hand. I can bend down, literally pick up asphalt in my hand. I've said it time and time again. So we would appreciate any little tiny construction that goes on down there. Even though we know how big of a headache it is, we strongly encourage it, and we thank you very, very much from the residents of Edgemont. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Next speaker.
And Rafael Brugueras does have a comment on A5.
Okay.
And A6 as well.
And A6, okay.
Together.
A5 was just, I want to thank Councilwoman Justin for bringing up A5, and I want to thank the staff manager for correcting and adding the dollars to it. So now we're at $1,170,000 tonight that the staff is going to ask the council members to approve on all these A's, because that's where the money's at tonight, on A's, okay? Again, like I said a little while ago, I'm okay with it, because what the people of Moreno Valley, the residents need to know that, again, Thursday, there was a big approval with the Planning Commission on a nice project for Edgemont on the corner of Eucalyptus and Day Street. It's going to be a big improvement in Edgemont that's coming up. I wish people could have been here Thursday to look at the plans. But it's a wonderful thing that the developer and the property owner didn't give up on Moreno Valley. And that's a beautiful thing only because we have the project like the substation that we approved. They look at that as a plus. They look at the east with the World Logistics Center being approved. They look at the south side with all the big companies, Harbor Freight, Amazon, all these big companies that are on that side. When developers look at projects that have been approved and we become friendly to them, they come to our city. And I want to thank the staff actually, because they do a lot of work for us. They go out there and look for these individual corporations and developers. And I know there's a lot more coming. This is why I like to go to the meetings, to at least tell the people of Moreno Valley there's hope. A lot of great hope in the city of Moreno Valley. So please, stay in touch, come out and help. Let's clean up our cities because we're going to have a lot of guests pretty soon stopping at on Cactus and the airport. A lot of things are happening here. Get involved. Learn. Speak up. Our council members will help us to understand how things are written on the agenda, item by item, so we can be at peace with each other when we come and meet in this chamber. So please come out and be part of the city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rafael. Okay, no more speakers, or?
There are no more speakers on the items on the consent calendar.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any comments or questions on the consent items? Okay, seeing there's none. Okay,
Move to approve.
entertain a motion. Okay, motion by Councilmember Price.
Second.
Okay, second by Councilmember Jemison. Please vote, and we're going to do a voice vote for the teleconference.
Yes.
So, Madam City Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Councilmember Jemison?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina is not here. Councilmember Price?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes. Okay, so that's four with one absent. Okay. All right, so that moves us on to item F, which is the proposed development lighting for cluster mailboxes. Okay, staff report.
Good evening again, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Mail theft has become a chronic crime affecting nearly every community throughout the country, particularly at cluster boxes serving residential and business customers. The council has discussed this important issue, including a presentation at the March 8th study session, and has interacted with the United States Postal Service and the community at large. The council has shared information on how to be proactive to combat this issue, but you've also looked at additional ways to help deter mail theft. As a result of this endeavor, the Public Safety Subcommittee is recommending the implementation of 2 items to help reduce mail theft. 1, condition new projects, both residential and non-residential, to install lighting at cluster mailboxes. And 2, install 2 cluster mailbox lighting demonstration projects at 1 existing residential and 1 existing non-residential location. So for recommendation 1, a new condition of approval accomplishes a key objective to the, in the city's general plan to reduce the risk of crime through planning strategies that maximize surveillance opportunities and minimize crime opportunities. The condition would be applied to all new development projects requiring the installation of cluster-style mailboxes. The condition would read in part to include a detailed site plan for review, showing location and installation details of mailboxes and all associated lighting details. Projects would be reviewed by multiple divisions, ensuring compliance prior to any issuance of any permits for construction. As for recommendation 2, the demonstration project would involve locations experiencing recent and frequent mail theft. The police department, of course, would be consulted in site location and selection. Both of these sites would have a pole-mounted, solar-powered light fixture at the mailbox. The light would include a battery storage system and a motion sensor for additional energy efficiency. The property owners would be required to sign a hold harmless waiver with the city for these installations. And the anticipated cost for the demonstration project is approximately $1,500 per installation. But this compares very favorably with the cost of replacing a damaged cluster mailbox. Recently, the Moreno Valley Ranch Homeowners Association has indicated to us that they've spent nearly $90,000 replacing damaged cluster mailboxes in less than 2 years. Each installation is going to include an LED light fixture, solar panel with battery, mounting pole, adequate concrete footing or some other support, and any other appropriate support method necessary. Installations would be completed as an in-house project by our Public Works Department's Maintenance and Operations Division, with a nominal cost absorbed within their already approved fiscal year 2016-17 budget. This proactive approach can serve as a model for private installations, hopefully throughout the city. I did also want to mention I reached out to the United States Postal Service, and I have not been able to speak with them. They're hard to get a hold of sometimes, but I do want to share this information with them. So that concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Good question, Alan. In the report for the solar powered light in Bakersfield, do you know when was that installed, and do you know have there been any benefits from the original person that installed?
Yeah, there was an electrical contractor that installed that system. That was actually in his neighborhood, I believe, in his homeowners association. It's a recent installation, and according to the association, they say that mail theft has declined in the neighborhood, and that the residents appreciate the light when they go to pick up their mail in the evening hours when it gets dark.
All right. You can push your buttons if anybody has any questions, council questions, or
I don't have
Mayor
a
Pro Tem Gaiba. Go ahead.
I would like to see the demonstration project before you actually start trying to require. Having a little trouble with mandating required lighting from people, making a condition of approval without proof of the model. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just like you had the one thing in Bakersfield, it'd be good if we saw how this proved true for us. I don't have any problem changing language to the non-residential rental construction projects to encourage lighting at cluster boxes. But if you're going to require lighting, let's get some data first and see if it's really going to serve the purpose it was. I suspect it may, but I'd like to see that happen first before you start mandating that in our conditions of approval. Did the Planning Commission review this?
No, that condition of approval doesn't necessarily have to go to the Planning Commission.
No, I know it doesn't necessarily have to. I'm just curious if we did throw it in their direction to get a feedback from them.
No, not at this time.
Okay. Anyway, that's the only concern that I have. Is I'd just like to see us. I think we're putting two things together before we prove the first one, and I don't see a problem with doing the demonstration project. I think it's a good idea, but before we start conditioning construction projects, we should at least know that this really is working.
Okay. Questions from Councilmember Price?
Yes, Alan. Could we? I agree with the Mayor Pro Tem. We may find out that it's different here in Moreno Valley than Bakersfield, although I really support this project. But this is a demonstration project. If we can maybe put a time frame on it and then bring back the results and then make the recommendation possibly to require it in new development. I agree. It probably should be proven before we do it citywide. So if we can, Mayor Pro Tem, if you would
I agree with you.
concur with
I
that?
think you're saying what I said, so
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, but
I
we
agree with
put
you
a,
totally.
if we put a
Well,
time
the
frame.
timeline is probably a good one to do, but what kind of a timeline do you suspect will work? I mean, how are, if you have some data maybe out there as to, from Bakersfield, how long it took to show any change, maybe that would be a good way to know what the timeline would be. I'm not, but, or it could be just arbitrary, you know,
Well,
so
and
I don't
here-
know. But I agree with you
yeah.
on the timeline
Yeah.
very much,
And-
George.
And here's the other thing too, you know, I think that it'd be good to run this demonstration into Pacific Standard Time when it gets dark earlier. So.
No, that's a good idea.
You know,
to add to
maybe
that,
through
yeah.
the end of the year, Public Works Director, is that, you know, through the end of the year, is that a sufficient time to do a demonstration, to give you some data to let us know if it works or not? Okay. He said yes, Jeff, if you can't hear me.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, it's not a big critical thing, but I'd like to see, and I don't have a problem. You know, I'll bet you dollars to donuts, and Alan, you can verify this. So can Rick. I'll bet you dollars to donuts. You could go to any one of these developers and housing developers and say, we would like you to do this. And they'd probably do it without question. So you wouldn't even have to mandate it. But it'd be a stronger demonstration if you had data to show them why we'd like you to do it or why we're mandating it.
And that's why I agree with that. You know,
Yeah.
we don't like it when we get rules brought down on us from the county or the state without any data. So
developers don't like it either.
Yeah, so
Sometimes
if
they
we
just push
can
back.
provide the data to show that it is helpful, and it may, if we have good data, it may encourage others to step up and do it.
Yeah, I agree. But before we agree, let's just have public comments.
We do have two people who have asked to speak on this item. The first is Melissa Martinez, followed by Rafael Brugueras.
Okay.
Can I make a comment while she's coming up?
Sure.
This was her idea.
Okay, great.
And I want to thank her for bringing this idea to us.
Great, awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Okay, so yes,
We say bravo Zulu, okay?
oh, thank you, Mr. Gaiba.
You're welcome.
So anyways, so in the midst of all of the mailbox theft, I wanted to do something proactive for my community. So I did some digging too, and I brought it obviously to your attention. Mailbox theft, a lot of the clusters, they were getting hit. What can we do? What can we do? Let's put our heads together. Well, the first thing that came to mind was the solar. Yes, we're talking about the guy in Bakersfield. Just to give you guys a time date on this, he did his back in March 30th he updated it in March 30th. And he did 7 neighborhoods. So he didn't just do his own, he did 7 in total, and all which have been reduced in mail theft crime. And I'm not sure if you just seen it on the news, and it's something positive in the right direction, I guess you could say. There was a resident from Moreno Valley just captured yesterday in the city of Corona for mailbox crimes. So thank God that we got him off the street. We never know if it's linked, but we need to be a proactive city and we need to do something great about it. Again, I would sincerely like to thank you for taking the opportunity and hearing what the residents have to say. And thank you so much for proposing this. It is something very minimal, something that can be seen from other cities. It's something that we should lead by example for. If we have as many people and as many residents in our city, let's start showing the other cities and let's carry it on so they can do something so easy as well. So again, I sincerely would like to thank you and the staff for hearing our cry, and we appreciate to see what is going to come out of this. Thank you.
Great job, Melissa. Okay, next speaker.
Rafael.
And who's the other one that way they can get ready?
No,
Or
that's
is that-
that's
Okay.
it. Just 2.
Good evening again, council members, staff, guests, and residents of Moreno Valley. The one good thing about being open-minded and transparency, it gives me a chance to read something over. Sometimes we don't see it as we write it down. And I'm glad she mentioned solar, because there's lighting here and didn't say which kind. And when I think of solar, I think about the highway where they have the emergency phones. And they got the small little solar panel, but they got it pretty high up. So where someone has to climb, and if they do have to climb to take it down or damage it, hopefully somebody else see it. or see them, whoever it may be. The other issue that that I looked at, I would like the demonstration after it's all built and everything, that where the public, Moreno Valley residents, could go and look at it itself and touch it. Whether we have it at the mall, or whether we put it right here on City Hall property, or whether we bring it here into the chamber. I think the people should have the right to look at it as we direct staff for this approval, because it's important for us to see what's going on. And Mr. Guybert said it well. And I know that the staff mentioned that it wasn't something that needed not to be done, to tell the planning commission, because whatever we do today, whatever we decide to approve, it should go to the planning commission, because they have a chance to tell the developers on things that we can have built on things that can be done while they're building it from the ground up. It's a lot easier when it's going from the ground up. And I give you an example. Brian mentioned to one of the developers about charging cars, the station, that for the new place on Eucalyptus and Day Street, and it wasn't mentioned because it wasn't in the policy. But it makes sense if we're pushing, electric cars. We're gonna have 200 spaces and 15 handicaps, but nowhere to park an electric car. There should be 2 or 3 of them. I mentioned that to the person that was gonna build the hotels. Think about it. If you had an electric car and you were coming to Moreno Valley to visit, and you needed a hotel, and one of the icons said electric car charging, and you looked at the other 3, you're going to pick the one that had the electric car charging, because that's where you got to go. So like Roy mentioned, we need to be smart. And our speaker mentioned that we need to do things right the first time, so we don't have to spend a lot of money. Okay? Moreno Valley is heading the right way, and we're thinking positive. We just need to stay together as a body. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafael. Okay, this moves us to council deliberation. It pretty much sounds like there's a consensus here to, Councilmember Price, did you want to make a motion?
Well, I just wanted to say one thing. The Public Safety Subcommittee, we brought this forward on Melissa's suggestion, and the reason we didn't go to Planning Commission, we legally didn't have to, but because of the amount of mail theft that's going on in this community, we want to get something out there right away to see if it works. I don't have a problem with taking back the recommendation to, for developers to require it, have Planning Commission talk about that. But I think this thing, this demonstration project, I want to get it out there now. Yeah. Because every day I open the newspaper and I breathe a sigh of relief when I see it's not Moreno Valley. But again, I feel sad for the people that it happens to, because I've had friends and in neighborhoods surrounding me who've had their mailbox broken into. So I think the sooner the sooner the better we can get these up. And again, Melissa, thank you very much. I mean, you've shown, she's been up here 3 times speaking, every time doing something good for the community. So thank you, ma'am.
Great. Okay.
And I make a motion.
Okay, so a motion by Councilmember Price, and we need a second. It's second, I'll second.
Oh, she wants comment?
Or are you gonna?
No. I have a question, though. We're accepting it in its entirety, or we're going to head?
Let me go back to Councilmember
Yes,
Price, thank you.
please.
Councilmember Price, could you clarify the actual motion?
Yes, my motion is to move forward with the demonstration project, but delay the implementation of the mandatory requirement for developers until
the data,
until a date uncertain when we can get some data on how effective this is.
And I second that.
A longer.
Okay. All right, so motion by Price and a second by Jemison. Please do vote.
Councilmember Jemison.
Yes.
Councilmember Molina's not here. Councilmember Price.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba.
Jeff? Uh-oh, I think we lost him, huh?
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes. Can we get him back on? Maybe take a 2-minute to get him back on?
Okay.
Yeah, let's just take a 2-minute to get him back on. Okay, we're going to take a 2-minute recess. Yes. Actually, let's go ahead and, so Jeff, we lost you right in the middle of the voting for G2. There was a motion by Councilmember Price and a second by Jemison. Let's go ahead, let's redo the vote. That way we can give the opportunity for Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba.
Did he hear the?
Did you hear that?
No, the motion. The
Oh,
motion
did you
I-
hear
No,
the?
what was the motion?
Oh, go ahead and repeat it, Councilmember Price, because I didn't write that down.
Okay, Jeff, I'm going to kind
He
of.
didn't either, right?
I'm going to paraphrase.
Off the top of your head.
I'm going to paraphrase it. Move forward with the demonstration project, but delay the mandatory requirement till after we get some data back. And I have no problem if we want to take that to the Planning Commission to get their input. But right now, it's just move forward with the demonstration project.
I'll second it
Okay,
if somebody
well,
else didn't already
Okay,
second
We're just
it.
we
waiting for
already
your
got-
vote.
Yeah, we got a second from Jemison, so we're just going to go ahead and do a vote, okay?
Fair enough.
All right?
Councilmember Jemison?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina is not here. Councilmember Price?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes. Okay, so it's a 4-0. We're going to move on to, we're going to go ahead and move on to G3, actually. Review of city boards and commissions, report of city manager.
Oh, could we do me a favor?
Yes.
Could we jump to G3 and get it out of the way?
Oh, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said
Is it?
report of the city manager.
Oh, no. I said G3, and then,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then it's the city manager. It must be kind of cutting off, huh?
But every time I talk, I hear an echo.
Oh, it's,
background.
okay. Sometimes if you have an iPad at the same time, but, okay.
No iPad here.
Okay.
I got hard copy.
Or Bluetooth, if you have the Bluetooth next to you, that could also do
It's
it.
in my ear.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Staff report?
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. Media team, if you would please put up the PowerPoint on this report.
You have a PowerPoint?
We know how much you like them.
Yeah, well, I ain't got it here, so.
This is this presentation basically puts the topics that were in the staff report onto some slides for quick reference by the council.
Oh.
So it's basically the same thing,
Same,
right?
no new information. Everything that's already in the report, just in a little more digestible format.
Yeah, you made a mistake on Model 3.
Okay.
On April 12th, the council conducted a study session. You requested models for discussion by the council. What we have here are 7 samples. Several were discussed on April 12th. Some were suggested by individual council members. And then we have the 7 models. And what we'll do in this presentation is show you how each differs from the existing, the way boards and commissions are structured.
Okay, and then when we get to that third model, or the one he was saying, we can correct it, whatever.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly.
Okay, go ahead.
What you have right now is a 5-member Accessibility Appeals Board, an Arts Commission with 9 members, including 2 teen members. You have your Emerging Leaders Council that you discussed tonight, Environmental and Historical Preservation Board with 7 members, your Library Commission with 7. Your Parks and Rec Commission has 9 members, 2 of whom are teens. Your Recreational Trails Board has 9. Obviously, you have a 7-member Planning Commission with 2 alternates, 9-member Senior Citizen Board, a Traffic Safety Commission with 7, and a Utilities Commission with 5. That's what we have right now, and that's the structure to which you as a council appoint members. Model number 1, what would change here, and this is one that was discussed on April 12th, is the Accessibility Appeals Board would go away, and a couple of the options would be to appoint a hearing officer or assign the function to council. The Environmental and Historical Preservation Board would go to a newly constituted Community Service Commission. Library Commission would go to the expanded Arts Commission. The Trails Board would go to the Park and Rec Commission, Senior Citizens Board, Community Services. Traffic Safety, there are 3 options listed there. One was discussed going to the Public Safety Subcommittee, or all directly to the council, or be handled by Public Works staff. And then the Utilities Commission would be disbanded with with their topics going to the Finance Subcommittee. So here's what the structure would look like.
you'd have three main commissions: a Park and Recs Commission that includes the recreational trails and ecological preservation issues, an Arts Commission.
Is that Model 1?
Yes, it is, and that's
See,
the
I don't
one-
have your PowerPoint, so you'll have to refer to them so I can look at it in my thingamajig here.
Will do. We are on Model 1. The Arts Commission would encompass performing, visual, and literary arts, literary being a reference to the library. The third super commission, for lack of a better term, would include senior citizens board, historical preservation, and then you would have your emerging leaders and your planning commission. So that's the structure under Model 1. Model 2 is slightly different. You would, again, as was done with the last version, no accessibility appeals, no environmental and historical preservation. Those would all be moved, as would Library Commission, Trails, Senior Citizen, and Utilities. So Model 2, this is your three super committees with the ELC, Planning, and Traffic Safety. Model 3 would be the library. Your Library Commission would move to your Arts Commission. Trails would go to the Park and Rec Super Commission, if you will, and Utilities Commission goes away. Everything else remains the same.
Not according to this one you have. You've got ecological preservation, and then you also repeat it by putting environmental and historical preservation board. Your environmental is the same thing as your ecological preservation.
Okay, well, we stand corrected on
correct?
that.
So then what are we looking at? Then we'd be looking at taking the ecological preservation and moving it down to historical preservation?
Yes.
Okay, so make sure that people see that. In other words, don't change what we already have on that one.
Okay.
Suggested. Okay, I got it now.
Model 4, there would only be 4 changes, where your environmental and historical preservation would go to community services, recreational trails folds into Park and Rec, seniors to community services, and the Utilities Commission doesn't exist, and those functions are taken by Finance Sub. So here's the structure you're left with. Model 5. This has only a couple changes. The Recreational Trails Board would go to the Park and Rec Commission, and the Utilities Commission goes to Finance Sub. So under this, everything remains the same with exception of those 2 changes. Model 6, there's only 1 change. The Recreational Trails Board would be folded into the Park and Rec Commission. So the structure is the same as it is today with exception of that 1 change. And just to make this more complex, Model 7, under this model, the Accessibility Appeals Board, same as before, Emerging Leaders Council would be disbanded. The Library Commission and Recreational Trails would be folded into super commissions, and then the Utilities Commission again disband and assign the functions to the Finance Sub. So under this structure, you're left with 2 super commissions, if you will, and then environmental, historical, planning, seniors, and traffic safety. So that, per your request, we've presented a number of models. So our recommendations are to obviously receive the information and then take the action that you as a council deem appropriate.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. We're going to move to council questions of staff. We're going to do 1 round of questions. And please keep to questions because we need to get to public comments. Okay? Speaker, anybody want to? Okay. Councilmember Price?
Yes, and this is just really for public input. City manager, I believe it was answered today. Well, I know it was answered today. The people who attend these meetings from a staff perspective, mostly salaried with administrative leave, and then a few of them, if they don't if they're not in the position to receive administrative leave, they receive comp time off. So that we don't pay, we're not paying overtime, excessive overtime. People have the administrative leave, right?
Correct. You've characterized it completely accurately. Any overtime is extremely rare when it comes to staff providing support for these boards and commissions.
Okay, and I know there's been a concern by a couple of council members up here about the overload of staffing. Have you directed the department heads to kind of take a look at the staffing and?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Jeff, any questions?
No, I think I spent a lot of time, if people read the memorandum that I wrote. And the memorandum points out that it's not necessarily the cost to salary structure, but overuse of and excessive use of the personnel when they could be doing things more pertaining to the city. Actually, I think you and I mentioned streamlining is the proper terminology. Trying to streamline the operations and give the staff more time to work on city functions while still serving the concerns of the community and coming up with something that would be much more. So I know that's not a question, but I'm not sitting here. But if I was to ask a question, the question would say, does the report say anything about saving money due to salaries?
Okay.
Does my report say that?
No. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that wasn't the purpose. I think if you read paragraph, if you read the first summary and the entrance and the discussion component, you would understand what the purpose of this was.
Okay. We're going to move to public comments.
We have 4 requests to speak on this item. The first, Carla Thornton, then Bob Palomares, Jan Byers, and then Tom Jarrell will be the 4th.
This is Jan, and then who else? Tom Jarrell.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Carla.
Good evening. All right, well, I'm Commissioner Carla Thornton. I serve on the Traffic Commission. I also was on the Environmental Historical Preservation Board for 5 years. I'm here today on behalf of the entire Traffic Commission to advocate and advise the City Council to vote to keep the Traffic Safety Commission intact and active and not consolidated with the Public Safety Subcommittee. We have maximum participation by the commissioners, and we always have community members who come to our meetings to address their traffic and parking concerns. On page 39 of the review of City Board and Commission's report, it states that currently the Traffic Safety Commission and the Public Safety Subcommittee serve duplicate efforts, and that it also creates a redundancy between both committees. And I'm wondering who wrote this report, because that's absolutely not true. When looking at April's meeting minutes of the Public Safety Subcommittee, they talked about things such as the lights on the mailbox. They talk about violent crimes that occur in the community. They talk about fire incidences, dog bites. I can pause. Okay. All right. In the Traffic Safety Commission meeting, we talk about things such as roadway construction, street lights, parking issues that are affecting our community members. We had community members come to talk to us about the traffic issues that they're having at the schools. We've had someone 2 months ago that came to us because there's an apartment complex that they live close to, and their people are parking in their driveway. When you look at the meeting minutes of the Public Safety Subcommittee, they didn't talk about anything concerning traffic. So, already, okay. Well, so my thing though is that the public safety meeting is 1 hour and 38 minutes. That's about how long the Traffic Commission meeting is also. And I want to be cognizant of staff's time, but I'm wondering what the unintended consequence would be from combining both of these committees. Are you now saying that the meeting will be 3 to 4 hours? In closing, as a volunteer and a community member, it's important that we provide our citizens, our neighbors, opportunities to be involved in the community. We want to make a difference. We're volunteering our own time. And, the idea that the City Council is not honoring or valuing, and I feel like respecting my input as a commissioner and as a board participant by asking my input when I've been volunteering on boards and commissions for the last 6 years. It really boggles me. You have over 80 people who are committed. Every month we show up. We're simply being good citizens and giving back to our community. We want to make a difference for the city that we love so much. So I'm asking you all to reconsider this proposal and instead find solutions that do not eliminate our community's involvement. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Bob Palomares.
Okay, and if Jan could get ready. Okay, thanks.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mayor Pro Tem, Gaiba, my councilman. Yeah, I would like to see things stay just as they are. Number 6 is the best that I see on there, but I go with that young lady that just spoke that, you know, there's a lot of effectiveness from the volunteers. And I would like to see the senior advisory board just remain the same, because, you know, I fear that if we may go back to the time when you couldn't even get people to apply for some of these commissions and boards, you know. And that the change to the senior board will cause it to lose members, the effectiveness of the members of the senior board. I have witnessed great cohesiveness and effectiveness on the issues that concern our senior citizens. And keep it the same. I don't think, you know, you as a council members and staff, I think you got bigger fish to fry without messing with this. So just leave it alone. And I got to read a little quote here from Paul Valery that says, "Politics is the art of preventing people from taking part in affairs which properly concern them." Thank you.
Thank you. Jan? Followed by Tom Gerald.
Hi, I'm Jan Byers. I am a member of the Environmental and Historical Preservation Board, but I am not representing them in any way at this meeting. Just this week was the first I'd heard about the proposal to consolidate commissions and boards, although it was brought up at our board meeting that I was unable to attend. However, as far as I know, council hasn't really asked the board's input to how they should be reorganized. I've been on the environmental board for a long time. We were consolidated with the Historical Preservation Board. We used to be the Environmental Protection Committee, and then we were the Environmental Protection Board, and then we combined with the Historical Protection Board for similar reasons, to cut down on staff time. But at least we were consulted. We were said, this is what they're thinking of. We got together with the other board and talked about whether it would work or not. We at least felt like we put in some input to the process and say, this is what you're going to lose if you combine us. And then by talking to each other, this is what we may gain. So before you make any decisions on getting rid of any commissions or consolidating, I urge you to talk to the board members of all the commissions, have the ones that are being proposed for merging, talk to each other to see if they actually have anything in common. And if the topics that they work on make sense, because I know as my board is under a number of the proposals being completely split and eliminated, getting buried into the very large recreation board, which we don't fit. We're under planning, they're under recreation, so that really doesn't fit there. Similarly, I think we just heard from the senior board that they'll lose something by not being an independent entity. We really appreciate the time and efforts of our staff member who comes to our meetings and takes notes and provides us with information, and also our current council member who's been very faithful in attending the meetings. I was also wondering, looking at the proposals, what have you got against the Recreational Trails Board anyway? They get eliminated under almost every single proposal. But so please talk to the boards and the commissions before you make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Tom Gerald.
Tom Gerald Sr., speaking on behalf of myself, and, Mayor Pro Tem, listening on the phone there, and council members, members of staff, and the public. Thank you for allowing us time to address our concerns. I think the number one word that needs to be implemented, I think it was several meetings ago, a lady got up from, I think it was the Arts Commission, and I echoed her thoughts, and her plea in one word was autonomy, more autonomy. You know, I look at these different missions, and if you put, you know, 3 or 5 or 7 or 9 responsible adults on there, and I love the idea of integrating the teenagers in there to be part of it, I can think of a lot of stuff to be done. Let's take utilities for an example. Right now we got 2 electric companies that serve the city. Both the major issues going on. I remember once upon a time there was a move to put a major transmission line right across the city, and that was an issue. I mean, and I've been to a lot of the utilities commission. The focus has always been on Moreno Valley utilities. Well, that's a good thing, but there's a lot of other things going on with utilities. Gas companies, you've got 4 major entities with gas and pipelines going through the city. One of them could blow up, by the way. At least that's what I was told back in the 80s, because they made us put a 4-foot wide by, I think, 2-foot thick reinforced concrete cap on it, because they test it several times a year, the Four Corners pipeline. Now, maybe they've changed their protocol on that. I don't know. But those would be good things for people to be searching out and finding out. Pete Blecker told me some major gas lines running through the city. And, you know, if those, you know, we have problems. Look what's happening up in, you know, in Simi Valley there, with the problems they had with their wells and stuff. I think there's a lot of things that need to be looked into that council really doesn't have time. I don't think we need to burn staff, but let our, you know, committee members go out and do some bird dogging and poking around, give them a little autonomy. You know, watch them, monitor them, make sure they're reporting in and not going off like stray dogs, but make sure they're checking in and reporting. So that's yes in my comments. I concur with most of the other speakers. Traffic safety, I was really surprised. I do think that's a very productive committee. They helped me get a stop sign at the corner of Manzanita. And actually, there was a warning sign that one way doesn't stop. I used to hear crashes out there all the time. And after about the 5th one, when I first moved in there, I went to traffic safety. They got that warning sign. I haven't heard one since. Maybe there's been some, but you know, I may have saved somebody's life. So I think what you ought to do is go back to the committees, get their full feedback, and let them chime in us and revisit it and make a good, intelligent decision. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for community participation, for citizen participation, and a better city at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. All right, we're going to move to council deliberation. We're going to do one round, 5 minutes each. Anybody want to start?
It's my proposal. I would be happy to.
Okay, go ahead. Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba?
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I don't remember who the first lady was. I think it was Carla. And if you'd have read, that feedback. If you had read down a little bit farther, there was something called alternate suggestion. And I am the one who put together this whole proposal, because throughout the entire year I've been here, I've been hearing about how a lot of staff has been busy and what can we do to improve the ability for staff to get some work done, because they have a lot to do within all of these different councils and commissions. And so it came to my mind to put together some recommendations. And if you've read the report, if you have all read the report, I went through an arduous task of explaining the thought process behind this. And so if you haven't read it, might I also remind the public in general, this came out once or twice before in the discussion. You have an agenda item for 12 days. You have another agenda item for 12 days. You've got like a month or two where you can be discussing these things when you hear them, if you're actually going into the agendas and you're reading the staff reports. And then you can bring them before your own commissions and stuff for discussion and response. You can agendize it on your own commission. So I don't understand why that would be such a difficult thing to do. Traffic Safety Commission was supposed to be a redundant reporting because it's saying it's going to the Public Safety Subcommittee. But even senior staff had mentioned, well, traffic safety does something very different. And if am I still on?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the background noise went away. If public safety is not, if it's not appropriate to go to public safety, and if you read in the alternate suggestion, I actually suggested then, why don't you just report straight to the council like all the other commissions do? The only thing I would be asked is to task the traffic safety to realign its mission and purpose so that it aligns with exactly what I think her name was Ms. Carla had said. So there is an alternative there. The whole process was thought through so the community could think it through. What do we really need to do? What can we consolidate? And none of these consolidations that were recommended, at least in the first two that I did, and if you read the whole report, I gave you the full consolidations line item by line item. None of these reports, none of these consolidations overburden any specific commission, because with 9 people and 2 alternates, you can make many subcommittees within your committee to focus on those things. I did also sit on the Ecological Preservation Committee, and I thought it was rather interesting because we used to go out on nature walks. So part of the consolidation process here was consolidating trails and ecological preservation. And if you read the report, my recommendation was just that it was a good synergy between the two, that they could actually work together on actually creating such things as nature trails and items like that. I'm not going to reread the report because I spent a lot of time writing it up, and everybody should have a copy if they were really looking into it correctly. Arts Commission just made incredible sense that we just have an Arts Commission. And you can make up subcommittees within those commissions, and that's why I recommended we go to 9 and 2. Some of these were 7, some are 5, some are 9, so just to standardize it. But that's open for discussion as well. So, you know what, I could belabor the discussion. I took a lot of time to put the information down there. I realize people want to be involved, and for that, in my summary, I tried to make it clear to better afford participation. It may also be suggested that all commissions maintain no more than 9 members and 2 alternates for maximum contributions and maintain a quorum. A quorum may be set at 4 sitting sworn alternates. Additionally, each advisory committee would be tasked with providing summary advisory reports to council, which they don't do on a monthly basis, not just minutes. And under my upper line, it's a community services for commissions. By combining all of these, earlier in it, we're going to jump to consolidations. Where was it on that one line? In the discussion item, to achieve this, all residents have access to their district council members, future at-large mayor. They have opportunities to write, call, email ideas, and visit personally to make recommendations. Also, they are welcome to personally participate at commissions, subcommittees, and council meetings. You have absolute tremendous opportunity to support this city as you have been doing. I was just trying to find a way for us to consolidate and make it a little easier on staff so they could focus a little bit more attention on some of the things we're doing, because we're running very lean and mean. And if you folks can put aside your own and take a look at what was trying to be expressed here, or for that matter, if you never read the report, had taken time to read it, then maybe you'd understand the reasoning behind it. There's nothing more than trying to streamline the process. And then that's all I have to say about that, because I can't say any more. But it was meant as a good intention to help both the city, the staff, and the public be participants. And there are many ways to participate. You don't all have to sit on councils, commissions, and boards. Okay. You can participate, but yet there's only 2 people that ever came to talk to me about this.
Okay, and thank you.
Nobody else. Okay, I know, but deliberations sometimes take longer than 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
35. Okay, we're going to go, Councilmember Jemison.
Okay, so consolidation of any kind reduces resident representation. So as far as I'm concerned, none of these models work for me. We need to maintain resident participation. This is their ability to have a buy-in to the area that they're passionate about. We've got 91 members, including alternates, representing 202,000 population. And I don't think that's too major for us to have to consider. Now, the suggestion was that we understand staff has a lot to do, and I get that, but the staff, the city council, we're here to serve the residents. And if the residents want to be included in that process, they should have that right. So when the models came out, actually, if I had really paid attention, I would have caught that issue regarding environmental and historical preservation. But
Yeah.
I'm here to confess that none of the models were appropriate in my eyes because they reduced representation. And I had also mentioned at the last meeting that of all the commissions and boards, I have been actively on 4 of them. And so when there were recommendations about the consolidation, I knew, and I understand you did the best that you could, Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba, but I knew that you were off base on understanding what some of these commissions and boards did.
No, I've sat on them also, LJ. So I'm not off base because I've sat on several of them myself.
Okay.
So I don't say that.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's fine. We may end up alternating. You sat on some, I sat on the others. The ones that I sat on.
Don't mislead what I
Okay,
what
all right,
was said.
just let her finish. Just let her
Yeah,
finish.
the ones that I actually sat on, I knew exactly what they were there for and what the intention was, and I supported it 100%. So I stand corrected in regards to any commissioner boards you may have sat on. But again, as far as any models, I'm against all of them. I don't want anything to happen to our boards and commissions. As far as, if I understand correctly, the 3 items that were previously addressed are going to be agendized to discuss further. Is that correct?
Are you referring to the rules and procedures?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're so dependent upon what happens here tonight, we want to defer that item until we see what action comes out of any possible consolidation.
Understood, because I have something I want to discuss in that area. But as far as the models, I'm done. I don't want anything to happen to our commissions and boards.
Councilmember Price?
Yes. As far as staffing of these goes, I think staff pretty well accepts that when they, the fact that when they accept a position, an upper level position, or an administrative position, it's going to require them to work nights and attend meetings. Again, Jeffrey, I want to mention Parks and Rec, but I attended these meetings for like 35 years. And, it's part of the job. And the way I look at it is, public input is important. And the boards and commissions are ways that the citizens can give input in areas where they have an interest or they want to learn about another area. And if you take a look at the people that are on the boards and commissions, we didn't twist arms for these people to volunteer. These are everyday, hardworking Moreno Valley citizens, many who have to commute to work a long ways, who come home and go to these committee meetings on their own volition. And they feel that they're contributing to our community. I think this also goes to transparency. We talk about being transparent. I think the more eyes and ears we have out there listening to what the public has to say, like Ms. Thomas said, she has residents that come that come with issues. The more eyes and ears that we have out there to hear what's going on, I think the better it is for us, because we can't, as much as we try, we can't be everywhere at every time. There's way too many things going on. If there truly is a concern with a board or a commission, we should address it specifically. We shouldn't, the federal government enacted a program to take care of 15% of the people. They changed a whole procedure to take care of 15% of the population, and 85% of the people, a lot of them have issues with it. So I think if we have an issue with a board or a commission, let's deal with that one. We've got 80 people, including alternates, and how many? 91? That are involved in this. I don't see a problem with having their input. I haven't spoken to a lot of boards and commission members, but when I was out this last weekend, I went to the Parks and Rec last week.
or excuse me, Community Services, I'm sorry, Gabe. Parks and Community Services Commission. I was out at events this weekend, and I had board and commission members asking me, what are we doing? And again, it goes to, I believe, Jan's comment that, and I asked for this. When we talked about study session, I said, did we ask for their input? And we didn't. You know, so that was our first mistake. The second is, you know, the ones I heard from say, leave it as it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, was quote unquote one of them that I heard. You know, some even kind of came off a little bit like they were offended that we were eliminating. They're volunteering and we're kicking them off, and they go to meetings every month, and we're going to kick them off. So I agree with Councilmember Jepson. I don't agree with any of these. I think if we have a problem, let's deal with them individually. I really appreciate all the effort that Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba went into to, you know, review this, and it's a good review. But personally, I don't think we need to make any changes at this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Price. You know, one of the things, you know, that when I got onto the council, and I was, you know, attending some of the commission meetings, and, you know, I've noticed that, you know, there was, you know, several staff members, you know, as liaisons to the commissions, and so that was a concern of mine, and I think we've already, you know, mentioned it, you know, to the city manager. I'd like to first see, you know, to see what happens there. But going back to, I have here as far as, you know, just encouraging participation. You know, we have, you know, the 91 members, they're volunteers, and, you know, I think there's other ways that we can do it. For example, maybe there could be some other kind of, you know, policy, you know, about, you know, liaisons or, you know, or something, you know. I think there's a different way of doing it than consolidating some of these, because, you know, these people, you know, they put in a lot. And, you know, also asking them for their input as well. And the other concern that I also see is that if you consolidate them to, for example, like if you consolidate several of the commissions to the Arts Commission, there's no guarantee, there's no requirement that the Arts Commission will make those subcommittees. And so that's one of the main concerns that I have there. And then the other thing I was going to say is, you know, I wouldn't be against some of these things if we were just starting as a city. So if we were just starting as a city and we just incorporate it with a blank slate, you know, and then we, you know, this is how we do it. But right now we actually have people there. We've, you know, advertised positions. People have been there. So, you know, those are just my concerns. So I'll just leave it at that. And I will close the discussion, and I call for a motion.
I motion to leave our boards and commissions as is.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, please vote.
Oh, you can't. You gotta.
City Clerk?
Jimson?
Yes.
Excuse me. Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba?
No.
Councilmember Price?
Yes.
And Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes. All right, so that's 3-1 and 1 absent. Okay, so that moves us to reports.
Well, if you don't mind, it's time for me to go. I don't have anything to report here. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't have anything with me.
Okay,
So I
okay, let's just take a
So
recess.
I'll
really.
save my report on the next out when I'm back home.
Oh, Jeff, do you want any input for council recess before you
No,
before you head out?
that's never been a big deal for me. I work
Okay.
24/7 for this city as it is, so whether
Okay.
we take off this time or that time is irrelevant to me. Just give me a time, and I'll take the time off. That's all I care about.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right?
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay. Good night.
You bet. Good night.
Well, do we need to take a recess if he's no longer, or to transfer it back? No.
No, that would be up to you. We can go ahead and
Okay.
go forward.
Okay. Well, let's just keep going forward. So that moves us back to G1. Okay, where is? Okay. Sorry, we skipped around a lot here. Okay, so March Joint Powers Commission. Before the dissolution of the redevelopment agency, the JPA issued approximately $32 million of tax allocation bonds. Uncertainty at the time generated an interest rate on the bonds of 7.5%. Rates are now half that. The JPC authorized issuance of new bonds at a significantly lower rate to pay off the old bonds, saving $9.6 million in interest, which equates to almost $400,000 per year. The JPC also approved the transfer of 259 acres of land to Meridian Park, the company. The land is located west of the golf course, south of Van Buren. That concludes my report. Okay, and
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yes, go ahead.
I heard rumors that people up there are trying to start a petition to save the golf course. Have you guys heard anything about that at the commission?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard that. No, but I'll ask.
And they're looking at possibly the cemetery, right? Taking that.
No, I'll ask about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can ask the staff over there too. so
Yeah, I
sure.
heard rumors that people are
Okay.
trying to start a petition. So thanks.
No.
Okay,
I
thank
haven't
you.
heard anything. City manager, have you? No? No? Okay. Okay, I'll ask about that. Okay, the next one is the Riverside County Transportation Commission. That's mine here. At the May 11th meeting, the Board of Directors approved the expansion of the parking lot at the La Sierra Metrolink station to add more than 500 additional spaces and 6 new bus bays for RTA service and adopted a mitigated negative declaration for the project. They opened the public hearing to receive input on the proposed fiscal year 2016 for the 2017 budget. The public hearing will close on June 8th. Some of the short-term factors that were used in the development of the budget include pursuing completion of the 91 expansion, the 215 corridor improvements, and the 15 express lane projects. Working with local and regional agencies to develop resources for preservation and maintenance of regional highways and arterials, increasing efficiency of the transportation system by encouraging and promoting motorized and non-motorized transportation alternatives, and exploring local options for sustainable funding to address the long-term transportation needs for the county. Lastly, staff announced that the Metrolink Paris Valley Line, which is great news, will begin service on Monday, June 6. The 24-mile Paris Valley Line will have 4 new stations in Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Paris. This $248 million investment is the first extension of Metrolink service in 22 years and is expected to serve more than 4,000 riders a week. So that's great news. This concludes my report. And we have a report. Councilmember, okay, so he's not here. Is his report here? Is
No,
his
he took
report
it with
available,
him.
or did he take it?
I was looking
with
for it.
him.
He took it with, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so there's no more reports. We're going to go ahead and just do receive and file with that. And we're going to move towards city manager's report. Actually, city council summer recess.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, yes.
In an effort to save staff time and money, if there's no objection, I would like to move to approve the recommended dates.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I second that.
Okay. So a motion by Councilmember Price and a second by Councilmember Jemison.
And if-
Please vote.
Oh, could I just clarify that? You mean following the July 12th study session and returning for the August 16th regular meeting?
The recommended dates that
Thank
you have
you.
in the report,
Yeah,
yes.
is it July 15th? Or
Well, you'd come back on the 15th before the meeting.
on August?
16th, yes, in August.
All right.
Okay, and we
Okay,
can
so
you can actually vote with your voting machines on this item.
Okay, great.
Good.
Oh, you submitted? Oh, we have a speaker slip request.
Yes, I'm sorry. We do have a request to speak on this,
Oh,
and Tom
okay.
Jarrell.
All right, Tom Jarrell. Sorry about that, Tom. I didn't know we had any speakers.
Yeah, we'll be quick. Tom Gerald, again speaking on behalf of myself, Mayor Pro Tem's gone, council members, members of staff, and the public. Yeah, I don't care what you do for your schedule, this year and future years, but bottom line, I don't know why after, 30 years now, we haven't set a set time, every year. And that way, and, when you go in, you sign on, it's like, hey, these are the times we go dark. You want a vacation, go then. It's good for the council people. It's good for the staff. I think it's good for the public who's interested in what goes on here. I harken back to, I think it was in the 90s when Cynthia Crothers, you might have been there, George, when she was on the council. And it took them, I think, a little over an hour to resolve the time that, they were going to be dark. And it was funny. Every time they get a result, oh, wait, no, I got a wedding to go to. I got to go to this. And, no, my wife needs me here, and my brother-in-law needs me there. So, and you just set some dates. So you don't have to do it tonight, but in the future, I think it's something we ought to nail down and just set as a policy. Thank you.
Good suggestion, Tom. Okay, so we have a motion by, okay, any more public speakers?
No, that concludes the public speakers.
Okay, please vote. Okay.
Well,
Is there, let's just do an oral.
yes, we'll do a
vote.
voice vote. I'm sorry. We're having some problems with technology this evening.
No worries.
Okay, Councilmember Jemison.
Yes.
Councilmember Price.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba is not with us any longer. Mayor Gutierrez.
Present. I mean, yes. Sorry. When you said not with us,
Thank
it just threw
you.
me off. I thought it was, okay.
And that would pass 3 with
Yes,
2 absent.
With 2 absent. Yeah, 3 with 2 absent. Okay, great. Okay. All right, so that moves us towards city manager's report.
No report this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, city attorney's report.
I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay. All right, no legislative actions. Okay, Jimson, you already went. Okay. And Molina's not with us. Councilmember Price.
I just want to thank the community for everything that they do. We get invited to a lot of events, and we go to as many as we can. The Relay for Life, there were hundreds and hundreds of people out there. The 3 of us up here and Mayor Pro Tem Gaiba also showed up for, but he had to leave for another event. But we, hundreds of people out there for the Relay for Life, and I'd like to find out if it's possible how much money they raised to fight cancer. For me, this was a very special one because I lost my brother last August to cancer, so I made it a point to be there and walk and make a contribution. So I want to thank all the organizers of that event. I also attended the Roaring Block Party at the college. A lot of things for kids to do. A lot of things to see. The entertainment was wonderful, so I want to thank the college for that event. And then I went to I was invited to volunteer to make snow cones at the 163rd Air Refueling Wings Family Picnic out at the base, and it was a great turnout there. And it was a real honor to be able to serve these active duty and reserve military personnel, get a break and have a fun day. There was great entertainment there also, a lot of booths offering different things for the military personnel. So a lot of great things going on in Moreno Valley. So thank you all who are involved in putting them on. And I think I just have to say something about Councilmember Molina's comments. I only wish I knew what the issue was. I'm concerned. I'm sure that he has some genuine concerns about some issues, but unfortunately, I don't think he shared them with any of us. And when you kind of do what was done tonight, today in the paper there was a bad article about another city nearby. God forbid that's ever going to happen to us. I think we have our ducks in order. We have a great administrative staff. The council is all working to ensure that everything is on the up and up. So when comments like that are made, people here or people who watch it on TV or whatever's reported in the paper tomorrow, what are they going to think? There's going to be some suspicions in their mind that we or staff are doing something illegal, improper, or immoral. And, you know, the comment was made about 2012 and on June 9th. I don't think any of us were on except for Councilmember Molina, were on the council at that time. So we don't know what those issues were. So I'm hoping that, you know, I'll have an opportunity to sit down with him and find out what his concerns are, and hopefully we can address them. But I'm just a little concerned that the comments come out like that, and it casts, you know, the aspersion that suspicion, I guess is a better word, on us when I know that, you know, our finance, you know, we've had all our audits come back clean. We win awards for our audits. Our public works gets award. You know, every department, you know, our economic development, parks, every department are doing a terrific job. The police, you know, they're working on an issue to reduce crime right now, and it's working terrific. So they're working really hard, and then, you know, we're trying to change the image. And then when comments like that come out and we don't know what's going on, it's kind of bothersome. So you know, I respect Councilmember Molina, but I hope that I can sit down with him and find out what the issues were so we can address them and take care of his concerns, because, you know, he's a valuable part of the team. Thank you.
Okay, and I just wanted to mention, we're actually, you know, normally May 5th is the National Day of Prayer, but it's going to be May 26th from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. in the council chambers, and we're going to have refreshments. Everyone's, you know, invited to pray for our city, and Councilmember Jemison will be there as well. I'll be there, and Councilmember Price will be there, and we're going to extend it to also our city leaders as well. And that's all I have to say for tonight. Okay, so the meeting is now adjourned.